Superman has always reflected the times, whether it's truth, justice, in the American way, or if it's just trying to find what it means to be a hero in a cynical world. Now that James Gunn's Superman is out, we're taking a step back to ask the bigger question: who is the ultimate Superman? Which film really nailed the character? And does Gunn's Superman got what it takes? Or is it just another cape in the closet? Tonight we go cape to cape, actor to actor, movie to movie for the definitive Superman comparison. Real talk. Coming at you next. Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
This is Vicky Judy. Orange is the new black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Nothing more, nothing less. What's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 60 minutes or so, maybe a little more, maybe less. Real Talk is brought to you every Monday by B2S Media right here. Boom, boom, boom. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on YouTube.com/IE Network TV. And, of course, Instagram and Facebook, a.k.a. the social network. So, yeah, this is part 2 to our last discussion from last week. We talked Superman. See, I got my DC shirt, you know, already. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I wore to go see the movie. I went to see Superman again. And because I always give movies a second view, unless I really don't like it. And like I said from before, I didn't not like it. I wanted to go see it again. And I'll say that after seeing it for a second time, I like it even less. I just have to say it. Yeah, I'll repeat that. Even after seeing it for a second time, I have to say I like it even less. And I'll explain why. But keep in mind, I don't know, some people know, people who know me know how, I love Snyder and this and that. But I am a Snyder fan, but I'm a comic book fan first, okay? I went into this film from day one completely washing Snyder out of my brain because I know that James Gunn is a completely different filmmaker from Zack Snyder. And I knew Gunn was going to do certain things certain ways. We knew Gunn was going to bring the brightness back to it. Everyone keeps saying hopeful, and I want to address that too because I really don't see. I think people are just, so I don't know. They're so quick to say, "Oh, hopeful, hopeful, hope." I mean, I didn't really feel hopeful. I mean, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel discouraged, but I didn't feel hopeful coming out the movie. Like, we'll get into it when I bring, I got my guest on, got a couple other guests. I really want to deep dive. What we're going to do today is we're going to deep dive into the character of Superman because we spoke on this character is misrepresented in some parts. Not only that, it's misunderstood and there's a miscommunication with the character as well. So I'm going to dive into the history of Superman, or we are going to dive into the history of Superman. Why he was created, who created him, and, his evolution, the evolution of Superman from 1938 till now. And we're going to find out where James Gunn's Superman fits in this overall. Last week I said that the movie is probably number 3 on my list. I flip-flop between 3 and 4 over Superman 2. With Christopher Reeve. I do think it had some it was definitely tighter. It was tighter than Superman 2. Superman 2 had some flaws to it. It was fun, but it had some flaws to it. And then when the Donner cut surfaced, everything went a little crazy. So now it's like people who don't know any difference, they come in and watch the Donner cut, and they're watching something. I'm not saying what's better and what's not, but it just got a little confusing when the Donner cut surfaced, right? So it's just like people who still watch Justice League, I call it, the Justice League that Joss Whedon did. People confuse that because Zack Snyder's name is on it. So they're like, oh, yeah, no, that is not Zack Snyder's Justice League. That is Justice League. But neither here nor there. So we'll dive into that. We're going to also compare the actors. We're going to compare the actors of each one. Who was the best Superman? Who's the best Clark? Even though they're the same person, but they're two different characters, just like Batman and Bruce Wayne. You got some actors that were great as Batman, and not so great as Bruce Wayne, and vice versa. So who was the better Clark? Who's the best Clark? Who's the best Superman? Who's the best Lex Luthor out of the actors? Who's the best Lois Lane? And we want to break all that stuff down for y'all today. We appreciate y'all joining us. Shout out to everybody over on Instagram. Welcome. Of course, the chat room. We always got to shout you guys out. Shout out to my chat room over here. Joseph Tan always holding us down. Everyone else who pops in, we appreciate you and we welcome you. That's right. So, yeah, I got my normal Jedi Council, of course. But before I bring them in, I will go to my weekend recap brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com. And we have for the weekend of July 18th through the 20th. Number 5, F1, the movie, made $9.5 million more. It's now topped it out at $460 million worldwide. And climbing. It'll probably be somewhere about 465 before you know it. The Smurfs enter in at number 4 with 11 million on their opening domestic opening weekend. 22 million international with a $33 million opening weekend worldwide for the Smurfs. Then we have I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Know What You Did 20 summers ago. Whatever. 13 million entry, 11 million international, and 24.6 million worldwide. Horror film. It's all good. All of these films are really, I give them all credit for making any money coming in between Superman and Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, we'll touch on that before the night's over as well. Number 2, Jurassic World Rebirth, $23.4 million this weekend, which brings their worldwide total to $647.9 million. And number 1, topic of the day, Superman. 57 made another 57 million this weekend. What was that? A pretty big drop off since last week. Almost like it was like 50 something percent, and then it went up to like 70%. But anyway, of course, second week, bringing the worldwide total to 406 million worldwide. Only pretty much 2 weeks in. That's cool, but the first 2 weeks are the most important. So now, at least the movie is set up to make a decent profit, going forward on its full run. So there you have it. That's your weekend recap brought you at boxofficemojo.com. Once again, we welcome anybody and everybody that's coming. Oh, Reese, what's up, girl? Appreciate you. She said this. It's time to hate the effing Smurfs. What? No, you can't hate the Smurfs. Come on, la 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 la. You grew up with that. But anyway, that's what's up. So yeah, so last week we were talking this. Now we're deep diving a little more, and we're gonna bring back our guest from last week, who he joined us last week. He's a friend of the show, of course. And as I let Ralph come through, Ralph, you're in the building. Let's bring in AJ Perez. Tony, what's up, brother?
What's up? What's going on? I see you brought Ralph, the evil bot.
The evil, the evil bot. Yeah. And also joining us today.
Oh, there he is.
Ralph the heel. No, but and also joining us today, I know he's probably in transit right now, but he'll be jumping on ASAP.
I just have one question. Did he watch the movie so he could talk about this thing?
Who?
Kev?
Oh, Kev didn't join us yet. He's on his way.
No, but did he watch the movie?
I don't know if he
did. His opinion can't count. Like I just said.
Well, he can chime in on this because we're also comparing other Superman.
He can't compare the Superman to the other ones if he hasn't seen it.
Compare this one. So, all right. My man BAP, Bruce Pidd. Yeah, I know you still driving, right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I hear you. Be careful, brother. Oh. don't jump on camera till you.
No.
That's what's up. Welcome back, gentlemen, everybody. So let's jump right into it, man. So we went over a lot of it yesterday. Last week, I gave my my opinion. I gave my rating, things like that. But what I want to dig a little deeper this week, because everyone,
I have seen it twice more.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that it's still up in the air. But people love it. Don't get me wrong. People are loving the film, and I'm happy. I said from the beginning on my first reaction that I'm happy for James Gunn and the DCU that people are liking it and it's having a good start. And I think it is a solid start.
Oh, his job is safe, bro. His job is safe.
But
a bunch of announcements already made this week. The whole thing. They hired a writer for Wonder Woman today.
Right. It's definitely, as we welcome Kevin, it's definitely a good solid start for his DCU, and I'm happy for him. All right, once again, I said at the top of the show, I gave it another watch, as I always do. I saw the movie again, and I said at the top of the show that I like it even less now, unfortunately. But like I said, I don't hate it. I don't dislike it, but I have my issues with it, and there's a few of them that I have with it. And we'll start off there. I also want to let's start with this. First thing, the evolution of Superman in the comics, right? And pop culture. We know the eras. We have the golden era, 1938 to 1950s, right? He's champion of oppressed, fought for gangsters. He wasn't even fighting like Lex Luthor. He was fighting gangsters and corrupt politicians, which brings me to
he did fight Hitler.
Right. Right, before Hitler too. Which brings me to another thing that we will get into a segment a little bit later. I want to make sure we break down the model, this model debate of Superman. Everyone seems to think that, truth, justice, and the American way was what Superman was meant to be. And I want to put a stop to that right now. Everyone who watches this video, whether it's live or later, you got to just turn on
Well,
your
you got to bring on the host from Fox News for that.
you just gotta yeah, I know exactly. Maybe y'all should just pay attention and stop flapping your mouth so much and start listening, right? This is how it's supposed to be. We'll jump to that segment in a minute. But golden era, silver age era, 1950s through the 1970s. Science fiction Superman, Brainiac, Bizarro, Kryptonite introduced, right? More so wholesome family entertainment, escapism. That's what it kind of was for there, right? You got the Bronze Age, 1970s to the 86 to 1986, more humanized Clark Kent, deeper emotional stories, ethics. Key themes was ethics, morality, real world struggles. Those were the key themes right there. Then you got the modern age, post 1986, reboots like the John Burns Man of Steel, redefine the origin a little bit, right? John Burns' version of Man of Steel. This is in the comics. Focus on character depth and identity. That's where they really wanted to start diving in to the depth of the character. Give him more depth because he was pretty one-dimensional the first few eras, right? And then, of course, the new
that's the era that Tarantino got his description of Superman from.
Right. Yeah, that's the era when, as we know, when Tarantino says Clark Kent is Superman's take on the entire human race, which I love that monologue. It's just Chef's Kiss, one of my favorite monologues. But New 52, Rebirth, current comics, power. He's more power and his fluctuations, different powers, moral dilemmas, fatherhood, which is kind of like represented in that Superman and Lois TV show.
I love that show.
That was on the WB or the CW. Relevance in modern society, legacy hero. So these things are all of the different different modes that Superman went through, right? So I wanted to bring that up so people can understand that. Now, quickly, the Superman actors that we're going to kind of tackle a little bit. I'm not going to put too much time on the ones from back in the day, but the 1940 serials that they had, that was Kirk Allen. He was the first live action Superman. Then the 1950s TV show, of course, was George Reeves. That's when they introduced truth, justice, in the American way. That is when that was kind of introduced. As they brought Superman from comic books to radio and then to TV, they wanted to add there, because at this point, they're going through like the Great Depression. Well, he was created during the Great Depression, but this is like World War II or something like that that's going on. So they, they want to introduce more patriotism, right? So that's why they started using that truth, justice, and the American way stuff. But George Reeves was there. 1978-87 was Christopher Reeve. No relation, is George Reeves with an S and Christopher Reeve without an S. Set the Hollywood standard, obviously. 2006, Brandon Routh, tribute to Reeve, but struggled with the identity, which we know that. 2013 to 2021, Henry Cavill, gritty, modernized Superman. And then, of course, the 2025 reboot is now David Corenswet. And we'll touch on the other guys in between too, Dean Cain.
I mean, you didn't even bring up Tyler Hoechlin from Superman and Lois. Probably one of the best Superman and Clark Kent renditions.
Right. No. I was just getting ready to jump. On that. Because I didn't mention Dean Cain. I didn't mention Tyler Hoechlin. Yeah, so we'll break those down. But first and foremost, I have to say, let's start with the movies, okay? I still rank my films. I want to rank the films again. I said Superman the movie for me, number one, obviously, it's the blueprint, it's the classic. You'll believe a man can fly, especially for its time. Even though it came out in 1978, I was very young. I never saw it in the movie theater, unfortunately. Um, I was only like 2 years old, 3 years old when it came out. But it is the blueprint. It sets the standard. Man of Steel for me is number two, which came out in 2013. Visually stunning, modern day, modern myth, polarizing, And then I flip back and forth between Superman, the new one that just came out, and Superman 2 from 1980. That was my favorite Superman movie at the time. But great villains, love that. He was fighting Zod and them. And but it had an inconsistent tone, probably because of the with the Donner cut when it surfaced, it kind of changed. It changed a lot. The Donner cut changed a lot about
Donner cut was way better
too. It was better, but I mean, it just changed a lot. The first one, like I said, it had a lot of inconsistencies in there. They introduced powers that was never mentioned ever before. And it got a little crazy with that. Then I threw in Superman Returns, and then the rest of the movies, you could throw them away as far as I'm concerned.
But not even Batman, Superman. You didn't even put that in there anywhere.
I didn't put that in there because I know it's hard. It is a Superman movie, but it's just as much a Batman movie as it is a Superman movie.
It's still Superman because Superman's dealing with a lot of his humanity and trying to be good and stuff and being used. And,
well, if I put Batman versus Superman in it, then that goes right to number 3 for me or 4.
And I'm talking the Zack Snyder version, not the other. Yeah, the uncut.
Yeah, the uncut version. Right, exactly. So,
because they do explain more to Doomsday and all that kind of stuff in that version, and a lot of the other details that they just kind of mismatch together.
A lot of the stuff in there that you get that's better. But I mean, what about this movie? So you said you saw it again, and I know Bruce, you saw it. Bruce, you had let's go to you if you can, if you can.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm home now.
Yeah. What was your take on it? I know you said you saw it, and you are a comic guy too. You're a classic Superman guy. What's your take on it overall?
I thought the film tried to it almost, and I was speaking to you last week about this. It almost qualifies as a prequel, almost, because you've got a younger Lex Luthor than the first one. You've got a younger Miss Tessmacher, and so it almost, in my mind, it was really it could have qualified. Even the outfits, they seemed a little retro to me. They seemed almost 70s and 80s. If you didn't know what era we were in, those corny outfits almost qualified in the 70s and 80s. But some of the characters, very one-dimensional. I thought I was watching a comic book. I was watching a comic book more so than the depth of a Snyder. Well, I was watching a comic book. So,
okay.
Yeah, I didn't go in with a lot of expectation, and I came out just relieved that I saw it. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I was just saying, okay, I saw it. So my overall take, without going into too much depth, was just okay. It was very. I mean, a lot of what I saw it didn't fit. Had some plot holes. Just had holes all over the place. One-dimensional characters. My biggest pet peeve was Lex Luthor. His motivating factor for wanting to destroy Superman and everyone else is he was envious of him. Really? That's it? You just think you don't like the guy? So
That's where
kinda left me.
Fox News and all the righties came in saying it was a woke movie.
So
yeah,
I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me. I can't hear
I hear
you.
you.
But
You can't hear us?
I'm going to I'm gonna relinquish the floor at this point.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, as far as the woke thing, that we'll touch on that. That's just
I can't hear you, Wes. Can you still hear me?
I
Did you
still hear
mute me?
you. I didn't mute you. I still
Okay,
hear
then
you.
it's
Can
probably on
everyone
my
else
end.
hear
So
me?
keep talking, and I'll connect myself somehow.
Can everyone else hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. There's something on Bruce's end. But yeah, hey, I had certain things too. Like I said, I'm a state one more time. My biggest issue with the now after my second watch, I got more of a appreciation for Brosnahan's Lois Lane. Just let me rephrase that because I have problems with it too. And I can't wait. One of my favorite shout out to Screen Screen I forgot, but the guys that do pitch meeting, I know they're going to tear this movie a new one when they do pitch meeting. Meaning, not saying that they didn't like it, but there's so many holes in there that I know they're gonna say, such as much as I loved Lois Lane and I loved her dynamic, I'm also loved her dynamic with Superman. I love that. I think that was one of the best parts of the movie was the interview thing with that there that showed you about their dynamic of their relationship. But on the where they lost me was the fact that Lois Lane can fly Mr. Terrific's spaceship, you know, like she's been flying like she's a goddamn, Top Gun pilot, and I just thought that was just too. Once again, I agree with Bruce on the fact that it feels like comic book / it feels like an episode of Justice League Unlimited, or even better. I don't know if anyone has seen this the new Superman Adventures, or it's called My Adventures with Superman.
Are you
or
there?
something like that. Yeah, can you hear me?
I think it's your Wi-Fi. I think your internet might be having problems. I just rechecked all my stuff because you dropped out of there.
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The my Adventures with Superman. It's a new cartoon, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn, because it kind of reminded me of that. His we'll get to Corenswet Superman, but the way he was written in this show kind of reminded me of that. There's a new show. It's the My Adventures of Superman, and it's very little quirky, and it's almost like anime, right? And he's kind of like how Corenswet Superman was in this movie, as far as like, and even with the thing about the parents, with the whole situation with the parents, same deal there. Hold on a second. Who came back? Oh, Bruce came back. So let me just Bruce. We can you hear me now, Bruce?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so with that My Adventures with Superman cartoon, he's kind of like, they did the same thing with the parents. Like Jor-El is kind of like speaking in Kryptonian, and he's kind of like wants to conquer the planet or something like that. I think James Gunn kind of took that directly from this show, as well as Clark Kent being a little more like love everything, all animals, the environment, every living thing. Like that's kind of how he is in this show. Lois Lane is not the same Lois Lane. She's probably the most ambitious Lois Lane ever written. She's just wild. But Yeah, I kind of feel that way. So back to what I was saying. Lois Lane being able to fly Mr. Terrific's I just can't believe Mr. Terrific being one of the smartest people in the DC universe, and he makes a spaceship that anybody can fly. I just don't. That just doesn't seem logical to me.
It's self-aware.
Yeah,
it's self-aware and intuitive.
He said it's self-aware and intuitive. Yeah, I know. That's what he said.
So that's how he explained it.
That's how he explained it.
You can't argue with that. Like,
right? No, I mean he should have just said. He should have just said it'll fly. I have it set. It's gonna fly you wherever you want to go. He should have just said that. Self-aware, intuitive. Okay, fine. I knew when I first heard that. It's okay. That's supposedly how it's gonna explain. But self-aware, intuitive. All right, cool. So that part about Lois I didn't like. Like I said, man, I have to quote. I watch the great Mike and the Mad Dog. Well, from Mike and the Mad Dog, but Mike Francesa. He was appalled by the movie because he's like, I hated the movie. He's getting his butt kicked for 2 hours straight. He was like, nobody wants to go to a Superman movie and see him get his behind kicked for 2 hours straight. And at the end of the day, he still didn't really save the Earth. Mr. Terrific did. You know what I'm saying? He was like, so I kind of thought about that. I like the fact that he's fighting super powered beings because he does
Future Bizarro.
Right, he does seem to be overpowered. Obviously, if there's no superpowered beings fight, unless you're using kryptonite, and the kryptonite thing, I'm glad that what he did with it was fine. I think kryptonite is overused a lot. Everyone's used it at some point. Obviously, that's the only way a human like Lex Luthor can even really do something with him. And once again, I agree with Ralph said last week. I didn't like the way he, with those combinations, and I just thought that was a little over the top, how he was
there's been a big meeting this weekend after the Murdoch and Trump thing. They kept doing, A1, 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 punching Trump and stuff.
Yeah. A1, A2, A3, A3, and I'm just like, all right, cool. I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to make it where Lex Luthor can be engaged with fighting Superman instead of just sitting there watching whoever he created.
Well, they said that they did study Superman's moves, and they had 2,500 counter moves to whatever Superman did. So, and they added all those combinations to that. So they did pre-plan everything so they could fight him. So they knew everything the way that he operated. So it kind of made sense that they took the time to study him.
Right. No, that part makes sense. But you could have just said, because
that don't make sense.
You don't even have to.
It don't make sense. Sorry.
That don't make sense. And I'm gonna tell you why it don't make sense. Sorry. I know I didn't see the movie and I don't care. I mean, here's why it doesn't make sense.
No,
this is not prize fighting. This is not a boxing match. This is not like it's not like watching Mike Tyson, who has basically the same kind of moves in every fight, or watching a Floyd Mayweather who changes up his moves a lot, but he's such a strategical and by the book fighter that you have to change up your style. This is street brawling.
Let me say this. What I was about to say was, he could have tackled that a completely different way and still put in the part about researching him and watching how he moves. But you just made a clone of him, so you don't really need to. Why do you need to invent counter moves for him? You just made a
he
clone
wasn't very
of him.
smart, but he listens really well.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is they could have went away from that and could have just been, hey, this is a clone of you, and he's there. So you fighting him is like fighting
You
yourself.
know how you tell a move.
When he didn't have the moves, he didn't know what to do. He tried to do something, and that's when Superman outsmarted him, and that's when he laughed, and he said, brains beat brawn, and he got Crypto to come in, and he hit him blindsided.
And look, I'm not going to touch the dog part, but later for that. And now we're getting into John Wick.
You have no opinion regarding it.
Yeah, I do. I have. I absolutely do have a fucking opinion.
It doesn't count.
I absolutely do have an opinion because everything that I said about this fucking movie is coming true. Everything that y'all saying about this movie is everything that I said before this movie came out. So my opinion is absolutely 100% valid.
No, I'm not
100%.
So
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. All right, I saw the movie, and I am on two fences about. Not even two fences. I got two sides of this. One, and this is for the Warner Bros. Aspect. Was it an entertainment movie that gives you some ray of light that your new DC extended universe has a little bit of hope? I would sit there and say yes to that one. It gives you a little ray of light. It was an entertainment movie, and during the summertime, we just want entertainment. We don't want to sit there and analyze it and it has Shakespeare and all that stuff thrown on our face, right? We just want to see. I just saw Jurassic Park. We want to see people getting eaten by dinosaurs. We want to see people flying. We want to see laser beams and lightsabers and warp speed and stuff. So in that aspect, I'll give it what it was an entertainment movie. However, on the flip side, as a film, it has a lot of flaws. And this is my problem. Well, not my problem, my concern. The people, even as you open the show with tracing the history of Superman, nobody really cares because we're not. Most people that's going to go see Superman are not, as I said all the time, are not comic book fans. They're just going to see, is it a good movie? They're going to judge it by the films that have been put out. They're not going to think back to the history of Superman to the very beginning and golden era and all-star era and Justice League Unlimited. They're not doing that. They're going to the movie because their friends say, hey, this is kind of cool. You might like it. And we're going to take a chance on it. It's a good date night movie. It's a good kid film. It's a kid-friendly film. That's all. Now, if you want to base it simply on the Superman movies that have been produced, that have been put out there, the original 4, plus Returns, Man of Steel, I'll even throw in Batman vs Superman in this one, then that's fine. But judging to the history of the origin of the character, nobody cares. Because nobody.
Now you can't say nobody cares. You can't say that nobody cares because that's why they have a whole. The MAGA people are going crazy.
Let me finish.
Calling him
exactly. The bulk of people that's going crazy are you comic book purists.
But the MAGA people aren't comic book purists. You're wrong.
I'm not concerned about the MAGA people because the MAGA people got their own problems.
Ralph,
they got their own problems.
I know that you love to try.
Ralph, my friend, you are no longer an evil bot.
I know you love to try to shit on the comic people, but the bottom line
I'm not.
Comic book fans support
Ralph,
comic
you're no longer an evil bot.
That's all I got to say. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the bulk of the people that go see these comic movies are not the comic fans. They're normal, everyday people that just want to see a good movie. The comic fans want to go.
No.
I will agree with you with Superman, but
that's not true at all.
Comic book movies.
That's not true. No way. No way.
Not true at all.
Wait. I'm going to.
And you know what? And something else. And hold on, Ralph. And one more thing, Ralph. And my only other caveat, Ralph, with what you're saying is that it does spark the interest of non-comic book fan people because now they want to understand what's going on. I.e., my daughter's mother. I sat down with her one day for 2 hours explaining to her the backstory of Marvel characters and how they tied into all of this and the difference between the MCU and the comic books and the different eras of the comic books. So it does spark an interest. So people do care. I only said that to say is that non-comic book fans do care. Some of them do care.
Wait, hold. Kevin, I agree
I
with
mean,
that.
guys, look,
It
Rotten
can spark
Tomatoes has it
interest.
at 83 and 92. I mean, it's a movie business. It's a business.
It's the movie business. It's a movie business. It's not a comic business. If any of you guys, now I don't know if AJ and Bat are really big comic fans, right? You guys can't tell me one single comic book that has ever amassed the sales that one of these feature films have done. Not one. Not one.
What?
Yeah, the Superman gets like made a ton of money.
Not,
I mean, that's not the only one.
No, I
can't. Not amassed that
yes.
much money, but it made a ton of money.
No. You know what, AJ? Hold on. No. Because we can go back. We can go back to the late '80s, early '90s, in particular when Image Comics came out and Todd McFarlane hit with Spawn, and they broke off from the traditional way of doing comic books, and they started Image Comics. We
are not talking about Spawn, the Ninja Turtles, nothing else.
We're not talking about.
You said comic books.
Well,
no, you said Superman. You said Superman.
You know what? Wait. And you know what? Then let me change that statement. And because since we talk about Superman, there has not been one single issue of a Superman comic book that has generated the massive income that one of the feature films have made.
It's two different industries, Ralph. You can't compare them.
Exactly. That's my entire point. But that's my entire point.
Okay, Death of Superman sold 23 million copies at an average of $10. That is the best-selling individual comic book. In total, Superman has sold over 60 million comics, including going back to the beginning, 600 million. You know,
and then let's not. Then you have to tack on the net worth of what individual comics are worth, because some comics are worth more than others. What's the current price?
No. I'm not. No. My point is
trying to get your point.
My point is simply this. I get the movies are not made strictly for the comic fans. They're made for the average people. If the average people are going out there and they like it, then that's all that matters. If that's all that matters.
They're made for both. Actually, it's a balance. It's not just and some movies do more fan service than they do actual average users. Like now with Marvel, like I told y'all, the reason why, and people can say what they want, the reason why the multiverse era of Marvel failed is because, like I told y'all, what Marvel was going to do at the end of Endgame, I said Marvel is no longer holding hands. Either you know these comics and you know these films, or you don't. And if not, it's up to you to catch up. We're not holding your hand, and we're not going back and forth with this stuff. We're just going to go ahead on with what we're doing with our rollout. And they had some stuff that was individual stuff, like comic books, and then they have some stuff that was a part of the multiverse. Some stuff isn't a part of the multiverse. Some stuff is just its own individual thing.
My point is still this: is that while comic book fans, and I'm not slighting, they do play a part in how they make movies. The movies are really made for a regular audience that will see something and say, "Oh, this looks cool," and I want to go see
it. That. It's made for both. It's made for both.
A movie is made in a specific genre, obviously, to serve the fans of that genre. A sci-fi movie is made to service the fans of a sci-fi fan.
But see, you guys are proving exactly my point, because none of what I said was they're not made exclusively for comic book fans.
Nobody said that, Ralph. I said they were made for both.
No one ever said that.
Ralph's argument is it's made for everybody. Not really. It's made for the fans, and hopefully everybody will see it. It's not made for everybody.
I don't even agree with that at all.
It's supported by the fan base. Who buys the toys? Who buys the merchandise? Who buys the T-shirts? Who buys all the ancillary products and merch? Not everybody that you're talking about. It's the fans. It's the fans, Ralph, and
and
it caters
kids.
to it caters to the fans. Who's buying lunchboxes with Superman on it? It's the fans. It's the kids who like Superman, who watch the cartoons, may read the comics. So for you to say, well, it's made for everybody, that's not even close. Not even close.
Are you positive about that?
It's not even close.
Yeah, they want to market it to everybody, but it's made generally for the fans. Just like I said, that's with any genre.
Then let me ask you a legitimate question then. If it's really made for the fans of the genre, then why does the bulk of the comic book movies that come out, you guys that are the fans, sit there and pick it apart saying, you did this one, you did this one, you did this one,
because we're fans.
Because we're fans. That's what fans do.
That's what fans do.
But if they made it for the fans, then you guys would have no complaints,
it's like
right?
being a Chicago Cubs
No, Ralph, come on. That's totally impossible. Ralph, we complain about there are fans of the actual comic books. Let's leave the movies aside. There are fans of the actual comic books who complain about the comic books. So
let me just put some perspective real quick. Let me put some perspective, Ralph. What you're saying right now is asinine and crazy. A fan is a fan with anything, right? So of course fans are going to pick things apart. It's just like sports fans. Why do you root for a team? Why do you curse at your team when they don't do well? Because you're a fan. You pay money. You buy merchandise. You go to games. You go to watch. That's what you do. Of course you're going to have something to say about it.
That part.
What are you talking about right now? What are we talking
about?
What I'm just sitting there saying simply, and I'll say it again. On two aspects. First of all, the movie was entertaining and gives Warner Brothers a ray of light. However, on the second part, the going back and diving into the history of these characters at this point in time, nobody really cares because the people that's going to see the movie, beyond comic fans, are normal, everyday, regular people that say, "Hey, this is cool." Or you hear about water cool, you hear about word of mouth. Those are the people that's going to dominate who sees the film, not the fans.
Okay. If that's what you think, but so the
all right. Well, hold on. Let me chime in.
Let me answer that real quick because obviously I am going back looking at the history of the character because there's a method to my madness. I'm talking about I intend to address some of the non-comic book fans that don't know shit about Superman or think they know.
But that's the entire point. But that's the entire point right there. They don't know. They just want to see a good movie. They don't care. They don't care.
But Ralph, that's the reason why they listen to this show. The few people that listen to this show,
or not.
Exactly.
I'm not going to neglect that. That's not me being a good podcaster to neglect the fact of bringing these things together. When we're talking about a character that's been around before all of us. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, when people have miscommunications about a character, you go back to the beginning, you talk about it, and then you bring it to that. It's called podcasting, Ralph. I mean, I don't
and not only that. Go ahead, AJ.
Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. So out of this entire group, I seem to be the only guy that actually likes the movie. For multiple
I like
reasons.
the movie.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. What I've done with this, because I forgave a lot of the plot holes you guys are talking about. I forgave a lot of the obvious things because I chose to, because I wanted this genre and I wanted DC to succeed. Okay. So what I've done, I took all the positives, which were more than the negatives.
Right.
And I've spread the word. I've now seen the movie 7 times, but I've seen it with other people that were on the fence, whether they liked it or not. They were like, "Oh, I heard this, I heard that." And some of them had kids. And, we went out, we hung out, we saw it. Then they introduced Superman to their kids. And now their kids are flying around, or they're looking for a white dog, or they're just looking to adopt a dog, period. It's everything that this movie brought by introducing a character to a whole. It's this audience that's watching it is brand new. A lot of it is brand new. A lot of the diehard people are having a hard time. But I chose to forgive. I mean, I hated every article that came out about James Gunn and what he was doing to this character and everything. I went my post on Facebook. It said I went in there planning on hating this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was how I went into the theater.
Right.
I came out. I'm like, wow, it was really good.
Right.
I wasn't expecting shit.
Right. So
what I saw, I was happy because now I could see where he's going. I saw Ultraman as Bizarro in 2 or 3 movies down the line.
Possibly. Now, and that's great. Like I said, I started the show by saying,
oh my God,
that I do not like the movie, right? I enjoyed the movie. I always tell people see it in IMAX, you get the full experience. I enjoyed the movie, but I am going to, as a fan of, and this has nothing to do with comics because I didn't even collect Superman comics. This is just a fan of the character, period. All right. And most people who speak on Superman are not fans of the comic. They weren't comic collectors. They're fans of the character, because Superman has been in our lives, in the theaters since 1978 and before that on television. So most people who speak on, so that's why I had to bring it back a little bit, because it brings me to my talking point about the original motto of Superman, the debate about that, which kind of brings up these MAGA people, and it's not just MAGA people, it's some people that are just stuck on that old stuff, right? And everyone who has a problem with him being referred to as an immigrant and all this other stuff. So it's important to know. So people who are ignorant, if you choose to learn something at this moment, maybe you can learn it. And it makes it seem like how stupid it is to complain about him being an immigrant. We already established last week, obviously he is by far literally an illegal alien. Literally. We all know that. But let's talk about what Superman represented when it was first created.
Yeah, call him what he is, though. He's not an illegal alien. He's an extraterrestrial being that came here from another planet.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying literally an alien, right? So, but when Superman was created, because the whole truth, justice, and the American way thing that people, was talking about, debating over, what have you. 1938 to 1942, Superman was a champion of the oppressed. He was created by immigrants, and he was kind of like the immigrant superhero. He was like a superhero for immigrants, for oppressed people. That was the actual reason Superman was created. So the reason why bringing this up is important, because people are sitting there arguing about, oh yeah, they want to make him quote unquote woke, which they're using the term, of course, in the wrong context. But when Superman was fighting against social injustice, he was fighting against, like I mentioned earlier, he was fighting gangsters and crooked politicians. This was before kryptonite or any of that stuff was ever introduced. Important to bring that up because it's so stupid for people to talk about the truth, justice, American way, which didn't even come in to like the 1950s. The Adventures of Superman TV show. And that's when they actually, he had that announcer at the beginning of the show where he says, fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. Right?
Because why?
Amen.
Because why? Because as we do as Americans, if we take everything for our own. If it came out here in America, if it landed here, it's ours. If it's whatever, It's ours. Baseball belongs to America, even though there are more international players that play baseball better than regular Americans. And starting with the Negro League. But we won't go there. I digress.
Right, exactly. So that is where so that didn't come in until then. Obviously, once they decided to put on TV. And remember, this was branding during the Cold War. So it was more like a patriotic branding during the Cold War, and then it just stuck several years.
Which Wes, I don't mean not to cut you off again. Which again, all comic books, DC and Marvel, a lot of their elite characters, especially their patriotic characters, all were based around the time. You had Captain America fighting Hitler, and then you had him fighting the Red Skull, which was a part of the Nazi Party.
Yeah,
Superman
because
did.
he needed a villain because he couldn't beat up Hitler all the time.
Right, exactly.
Indiana Jones.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Everything, of course. So when people sitting, I just want to say this because I don't want to spend too much time on that stupidness. But listen, to all you people out there, MAGA and whoever else, pipe down. First of all, you don't know, you don't even care about the character. Like Ralph said, you don't care. You don't care enough about the character, but you want to argue about it just because you want to argue with somebody. So you want to argue.
I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna disagree with what you said. It ain't about the character. They just want to argue simply about anything that they don't see is contradicted to what they think. Oh my God! Wonder Woman was it? They can sit and say, well, Wonder Woman is an illegal alien because she was made from clay. She don't have a birth certificate. She ain't got a real ID. Batman is nothing but a thug, walk around taking justice on him. We got ice for that. So every single thing, that's all they care about. They just want to start an argument over everything.
I agree
everything.
With you there. More than likely, people just want to argue about stuff. But I don't argue with fools, right? You know what I'm saying? Never argue with fools because someone from the outside can't tell who is who, right? Someone from the outside can't tell who's the fool and who's not the fool. So that's why you don't argue with fools. But so yeah, that's that whole thing. But once again, this show, just like last week's show, this is not a bash James Gunn Superman session for me. I'm just telling you what I didn't like about the movie. As a Superman fan, as a fan of the character, I didn't even really collect any Superman comic books. I collected comics, but there was mostly Batman. It wasn't really. I only collected a couple of Supermans that was like Milestone Comics, not Milestone Comics. That's a whole nother brand, but I'm just saying a milestone event like the death of Superman. I had collected that.
I didn't even buy those.
Each one of my kids has a copy of Death of Superman.
I used to have that, the Death of Superman. I mean,
yeah, that was a big.
But there was so many. They made so many issues
in New York.
They made so many issues and so many copies of that film, so many different covers of that comic that is basically worth almost. It's not worth anything.
Well,
because
yeah,
they flooded the market.
The first run of it.
First couple printings, they're worth a lot of money. My kids
the one that came in that gold. What was it? A gold foil package that you had to open up.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Wes, I forgot about those. Yeah.
Wes, I have a question for Tony.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So Tony, I think I'm like you in a way. Now, I wasn't in love with the film. I wanted to go in as open-minded as possible, and I wanted to like it. But I found myself for like the first half hour trying to like it. Like you said, just wanting to like it, trying to give it a chance. You know, you want it to succeed. You don't want to go into a movie. First of all, you don't want to spend your money watching something you're not going to like. That's just our human human nature. You want to enjoy it and get your money's worth. But I have a question for you, and this is my question. I brought this up to Wes. There's one disappointing point in that film that I cannot get past, and you tell me
because you said you liked it. If you got past this, so do you remember so the war is going on that Luther's trying, he's sending in his goons with the tanks, and the people are there, with clubs and rocks trying to ward off the invaders.
Yeah.
And there's this little boy. He's got the Superman flag and he's waving it, and he's almost
Towards
in a
the end,
prayer.
right?
He's saying
Towards
it.
the end.
He's saying, yes. And he's saying almost as a whisper in a prayer, Superman, Superman. And you know what? He never comes. He never comes. He never comes. Mr. Terrific. I mean, the other,
the Green Lantern.
But you know what though? Here's the cover for that. 30 seconds before that was said, Superman said, "I got a backup for that. I have friends."
We know.
And then you cover that.
No, not Tony. Hold on a second. Don't do that. Now we can explain away.
No. But see, I was ready for that to happen
and justify why he didn't come. But
no,
that
but
was
you're
in
not
the
listening
trailer.
to me.
That was
he
in the
explained that
trailer
before it was going to happen because. No, that was in the fight when he was fighting and he told him that, and he's like, oh, what's so funny? And he's telling him why, and then the kid's still saying, Superman, Superman, and he's all surrounded by the army, and they're about to shoot him because they're going to make an example out of him, and that's when a dome hits, and Green Lantern pumps it, Gus walks in, and guy walks in, he's like, oh, sorry, kid, Superman could make it, you got a new trade.
Right, you got to upgrade.
But that phrase that you just said, Superman couldn't make
but
it.
But those people at that point, if you're looking at it, they got saved and they fell in love with the Justice Gang.
well, not for nothing. I mean, at the time, this little boy is screaming, whispering, Superman, Superman. I mean, not for real. The guy was, you had the what you call it, the time rift going on. You got Ultraman fighting, and you got the chick coming at you. I mean, and if I remember correctly, I think there was a part where
we know he had his hand full. Listen, we're not debating whether or not he.
No,
I was talking about. I'm simply saying
I forgave it. I mean, he explained it away from me, and I was happy with that explanation. I was like, cool.
No, that's fine. I mean, he had his hand full. He sent back up. Okay, I get it. But I'm talking about the icon. He could save a squirrel though, and a dog that he could get to, but he couldn't get. I'm just talking about more of the writing, more of the explaining away of why he couldn't get it.
Yeah.
At that point, you got to decide what you're going to forgive,
which one is more
and
important?
what you're going to forgive, and what you're not going to forgive.
Okay, so here's a question.
Look, 30% of the movie, the stuff, the writing, I thought was crap. The other 70%, the positives outnumbered the negatives for me. And that's why I liked it, because I wanted the studio to keep doing what they're doing. Because now I've heard everything they're doing. Now that he made the money and he's got all this stuff, all these things that you know what? Go ahead and do it. Because I know what he's done with Peacemaker. I know what he did with Guardians. And I think he's going to do the same thing here.
This is my, and Kev, I know Kev has a question. I'll let him get to it in a second, but I just want to jump on that and say, and my critique of this movie is coming from the mind of a writer, a filmmaker. Not that I'm, whatever case may be. It's not even coming from a comic book fan standpoint, a lover of the craft and of the character. In the previous movies. So yeah, and I agree. I just to put context again, so Tony said, he forgave that, but it seems to me that Bruce is looking at it from a standpoint of why make that choice from a writing standpoint to and remember that this was one of the big selling points of the trailer of the movie.
Dude, he needed drama. He needed something that was pulling at your heartstrings. So he had to do it. He took the cheap way of doing it, of getting out of it. But still, like, he had the Justice Gang to use for that.
Right. I get it.
But it seems to me like he did again. And it seems to me, and I do have a question that I want to ask all of you collectively. But it seems to me with what Delasty and
Bruce,
Tony
good
just
question,
said.
by the way.
Huh?
Bruce, good question, by the way.
Yeah, very good question, Bruce. You know, it's oh god, I forgot what I was going to say. It's never mind. That's one of the reasons why, like the fluff and the and just the cornball stuff. I don't know, but that ties into my question. How many moments? How many moments during watching this film? And Tony, I can kind of take you out of this because you said you forgave a lot of stuff. So I don't think this really
I was
applies.
watching Justice League Unlimited. That's what I was watching. Live version Justice League Unlimited.
Pretty much.
Okay. With that said,
with the BT
while watching this movie, were there a lot of yawn and like, oh my god, and obviously none of you were to the point to where you would have walked out of the theater, because I'm starting to think I probably
like that. There was no moments like that, but I will tell you. I will tell you this.
Okay.
I personally had a lot of. All right, I sat there 2 times, and not one time did I laugh at any jokes. Not one time. Nothing landed. Not one joke landed that they was doing. So I was just watching it, right? I thought, like I said,
Was it funny?
Huh?
Mutant Toes, was it funny?
What was that
Mutant
again?
Toes was not funny.
Oh, Mutant Toes, whatever. Yeah, I mean, but
I'm
talking about. See, I think the problem was there was too much of. It's okay with having humor, because Christopher Reeve played Superman serious, but there was humor around him. All his humor came mostly with Clark Kent.
Characters,
But we didn't get a lot of Clark Kent in this, and I'm not even gonna say I'm okay.
No, okay. You're wrong. They focused more on Clark Kent than this one that they did on Man of Steel.
No. We didn't get a lot of.
Way more.
We didn't get no Clark really. We only saw him in the very beginning, and then we saw him when he went home for a little bit, because he was yet again getting his behind kicked left and right. But
he had some deep conversations with Lois. Ask Clark.
Well, the interview, which I really liked, the interview.
And then the other one where she's like, "Are you not going to go help them when they're fighting the big interdimensional demon?"
That was the part that I laughed. That part I thought was kind of funny. He was like,
"That was funny."
They got it.
No, you can laugh at a moment and laugh at a situation, but like some of the jokes that he was, the moments that was involving him, and I think Bruce has said this when he was talking with another colleague of ours, and I want to bring that up. What he said, it's like watching this, like you weren't seeing Superman; it was more like Super Guy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like he was more like Super Guy, because he was completely disrespected from moment 1 to damn near the last frame of the movie. He was disrespected by the dog. He was disrespected by Lois at some points. He was disrespected
so basically Superman was. So basically, Superman was.
By the end of the movie, he was called a bitch by his cousin.
Called a bitch by which was stupid, which was crazy. First of all, like Bruce said, that was gratuitous and unnecessary. Why would you have? So I know about. She's a mess and she's drunk. She's a party.
Let me tell you something.
She got called. Thanks for watching him. Thanks for watching him, bitch. I'm sitting there like, what?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If I got laser beam powers, somebody's getting smoked. Call me a bitch if you want to. Somebody.
By the end of the movie, bro,
he did use the laser beams.
He was so that I agree with that Super Guy comment.
That's pretty funny.
So he's a herb. You know what? Like who said it? One of y'all said it. Nobody wants to go see Superman get his ass kicked and to be a herb for 2 hours. I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that.
So
But
when
he
I
was
think
beat
about
up by the same character, not these. Again, they open it up and agree. I liked it the way it opened up because it explained everything for me. I didn't have to go back and do an origin story.
Was great. Opening
I
was
was
great.
like, wow, that was, and then for the first time, he lost the fight.
That's the one part I was so happy with. You did not give me the origin story,
was perfect.
but once again, the comic book purists, well,
nobody's complaining about that, Ralph.
Nobody's complaining about that. That was like the best way he could have started that thing.
That's not what I was about to say.
Nobody's complained about
that. That's not what I was about to say. I said the comic people, when they came to the idea that Superman's adoptive father is still alive, and people say, wait a minute, that's what made him become Superman, because his stepfather died, and then he went to find himself. But now in this version, he's still alive.
Right, yeah. But that's not really comic book people. That's everybody that you don't have to have read one comic book of Superman to know that that's the history of him. If you just saw the movie.
That is a serious flaw. And Mr. Gunn, you write in the dialogue, while it was very touching that Superman is actually speaking to his adoptive father face to face. That's
AKA the Bush.
Yeah,
another thing. I've never seen. Right, you're right. I've never seen a. I've always seen Jonathan Kent. He's a farmer as this strong, guy. That's even the old Jonathan Kent that died in the original Superman the movie. I mean, for him to be referred to, he's just a big mush by the wife because he's emotional or whatever the case may be. That also didn't sit well for me, but I forgave that one. I'm gonna take it a step further.
I'm gonna take it a step further because I don't think Jonathan King. Because if you're a farmer, farmers are hard. I don't know one farmer that's not hard. That's not as callous and as rough as their hands are. Okay, and just like that scene in Man of Steel when Clark said, "Listen, you're not my father." You know what would have happened? Bang! Just straight across backhand. He would have caught it.
Even if he would have broke his hand.
He just smacked him right in the mouth and would have forgotten. Like, oh damn, I forgot you're a super being. But you get my point. You ain't gonna disrespect me in my car. I raised you. I didn't leave you in the field.
I put food on this table. I put clothes in your back. How dare you speak to me that way?
So I don't agree with that. Him being. I never took going to that of farmers being so. Anybody from the South that had to listen. I spent summers in Georgia picking beans and watermelons out in the open field with wasps. When it's 105 by 10 a.m.
Farmers are not soft.
Listen,
I want to say this to Tony. I want to say this to Tony. Tony, you've been a trooper, man. I appreciate it. No, really. No, why I direct a lot of this to Tony, because I want his perspective. It's not beat up on Tony's day because he's the only guy who likes it. That's not my questions as a filmmaker and a writer is to look at other perspectives. And I number one, I appreciate your perspective. I'm throwing it. I throw these questions at you to get your perspective to see maybe I missed something. So I'm a teacher of film. I'm a college professor of film. So I like to hear feedback. So it's not directed at you, but I got one more for you, buddy.
Oh, I'm not taking anything personally, dude. I appreciate your.
No. I got one more for you. The speech that Superman gives at the end to Lex Luthor about I bleed and I hurt and I'm more human. That's
oh my God, he is a pussy.
Don't you think that speech should have come from someone else and not him?
I believe so. But
yeah,
to be honest,
Tony on this
I actually forgave that, and for me,
you're very forgiving.
We gonna call this.
I felt that it was forced.
Let me phrase the question. Would you have done it?
Let me answer the question. I felt that it was forced, but I also got the theme of the movie, because I know for me, especially right now, not to get too much into politics. And I know all you guys are brothers, and I assume Bruce is black also. But I've not experienced racism, and I experienced it when I grew up. But I have not experienced it the way I have now since Trump's been here and that ICE has been in LA, and seeing the anxiety from people here. And I mean, I got approached by ICE twice already, and the anger that you feel, and this like, how dare you? And this is who I am and what we do, and we are productive and all this stuff. So for me, I came at it from a different point of view when he said that. And that's why Fox hates it, because of what he says, because a lot of that, Gunn did that on purpose. He used that as a political vehicle to get it out there. So that I knew that ahead of time. So I knew I was waiting for something to come up, but that is literally what is happening in our world. And I have a friend of mine that's, because we always talk about racism, because I live in Hermosa Beach. And, you're always guilty of driving while not white. Right. And he always hated coming over because he always gets pulled over when he leaves town. And like I experienced it a couple times. But
that's kind of like when West comes to Long Beach.
Yeah, that's why I don't come to Long Beach.
Oh, wow.
You always get pulled over.
I don't come to Long Beach. I come to Long Beach. They're like, oh, him again. Haven't seen you in 20 years. Let's pull him over.
Yeah, so just from a writing perspective, it was misplaced. I think I like the speech. It just should not have come from him. Especially if it's going to make Lex Luthor cry, which it did.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
After that
my bad, guys. That was I'm on my phone now.
Yeah, now, see that part right there. Lex didn't cause all this stuff. Now he been busted. Now he up there whimpering. Nah, Gene had
Tony
would have turned in his acting card if his version of Lex Luthor had to do that. He would have turned in he would have gave his Oscars back if he had to do that.
Now here's my question. Now, with that being said,
you're breaking up,
Bruce. You're breaking up.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. What was your question, Kat? Nope.
What I was saying before my internet went off, and I apologize for that. So for me, it meant something else, and it was different. So
that's real. I feel that.
So for me, it kind of hit me different, and I've never. And I was talking, and I'm talking to a lot more of my black friends about this, because now with ICE and everything, and I'm like, wow. Now, like I said, I experienced racism when I was growing up. But not until this administration and what's happening. I mean, dude, I got double secret probation again from TikTok for talking about Homeboy, because you get flagged now. But it's my way to choose to speak. Oh yeah.
Well, that's all the news agencies. They're all
it's a lot of censorship on. So for me, it was I felt that it was good and it was needed and it needed to be out there. So I like that part, and I actually thank James Gunn for doing that.
Okay, so with that being said,
just chiming in, Kev, and then you can go right after. The monologue, the lines weren't bad. I just feel, and I know he did it on purpose. He felt it was important for it to come from Superman. I feel that it would have still been, I think it still would have been a good impact, even if it came from someone else talking about Superman.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Now, with that being said, now this is my point on it. What now should that, because Wes, you always bring this point up about in Justice League, when Batman tells Wonder Woman, like, he's more human than I am. That's when it becomes more tangible than it coming from you. Okay, yeah, we can see you bleed, we can see you do all of that, but it becomes more. I guess it hits home more when it comes from somebody else, especially when it comes from a character that supposedly has no feelings, who's not in touch with their heart or their humanity, so to speak.
like in Batman's case,
you did see Lex Luthor cry. I mean, that I thought was cheesy. That I was like, really? You made him cry?
Yeah,
that made me. That I did like.
But he was crying because he got busted when they came in and all of that stuff. But it was stupid. It was stupid.
That was dumb. That was actually that I did not forgive.
Crypto slamming around like the Hulk was slamming Loki around actually should have probably killed him, and it didn't really hurt him that much.
No, it broke his arm. His arm was busted up. Yeah, the arm was gone.
He busted up the arm, but he probably should have been worse than that. But
arm should have been ripped off. Sorry, should have been ripped off.
Yeah, I mean, you see him jumping on Superman throughout the whole movie, biting on his heels and stuff, and Superman saying "ouch, ouch," which that's another thing that bothered me. But anyway, that whole thing. But I guess because he's a super dog, it could hurt him, right? But he's playing with him. He wasn't playing with Lex, because I ain't gonna front. One of the messed up parts about the movie is when Lex got Crypto and had him chasing imaginary squirrels with capes on.
Yeah, that wasn't right.
Wow.
That part I laughed. I was like, yo, I don't even know if I was supposed to laugh there, but I laughed because I was like, yo, that's funny. He basically had like something hooked up to the dog's brain, and the dog is constantly going like this, and he's chasing. He can see
chasing squirrels, dude.
Squirrels. He's chasing super squirrels, but it was in his mind. Yo, that was funny. I thought
that had me thinking about the movie Up. Like the dog is talking, he's like squirrel.
Yep. So I thought that was funny. But okay, so let's just move on to this, because we'll be ending the show soon. But
Bruce, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay, cool.
You didn't hear my earlier question when I said, "Will you forgive him crying?" But you did. You said you can't, and I appreciate that.
Oh no!
Can't forgive
my
that.
internet went away.
Can't forgive that, man.
Yeah.
So with that, let's just go into. All right now. I mean, I said my piece last week about where does Corenswet Superman land for you guys in comparison to the other ones. Of course, Christopher Reeve, Henry Cavill, Brandon Routh, George Reeves. If you remember George Reeves, you don't have to keep him in if you didn't watch anything with him. Dean Cain and Tyler Hoechlin.
I'm behind Dean Cain, so that you're kind of far down the list, and I'm just saying that because
oh man, you got him. Wait, Ralph, you got him under Dean Cain?
Yeah, yeah, I got him under Dean Cain. Sorry, actually, I'm wait a minute. No, now I'm saying this to be funny.
Dean Cain was the worst.
I got him under Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck.
Oh, you talking about Ben Affleck from what you call?
I'm just kidding.
But Ben Affleck was playing George Reeves.
I'm just kidding. I mean, to me, he was. I'm just gonna say that he certainly Reeves and what's his name are the top two all time. There just isn't. Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
I think my only gripe with Brandon Routh is not his gripe. It was with the movie that it was too much of a homage to the original Donners. Yeah. But did he do a decent job? I would say yes, he did. And the same thing with this guy. He did a decent job, but I like to see you more as Clark Kent to get a fairer balance. Like there's much
that's fair.
Yeah, there's more Superman than Clark.
You want to hear a little more Clark. And shout out to Jay Hodges, who's in the chat room. Big comic aficionado.
Huge comic book fan.
Yeah, not just a fan, he's a comic expert. He's our comic book expert guy. But he said it may have hit differently if maybe Mr. Terrific gave the speech or someone. And I said that too. It could have been another character.
I said been Perry White. He could have been Perry White.
It could have been anybody.
Hey, dude, Mr. Terrific stole the movie. Okay, so let's just put that there.
Yeah, he definitely
stole the movie. Like, there's just that's it.
I would say that I would have had Lois Lane do it. I would have had Lois Lane write a piece that everybody was reading. You would have had shots of everybody reading it at the same time with Lois Lane's voice narrating it, and everybody reading the piece on the internet or wherever they publish their stuff, talking that same monologue written into a article that Lois Lane wrote for everyone to hear, not just for Lex Luthor to hear. Everyone.
Yeah, maybe every generation, different ethnics,
right? Different generations, different people,
to
different
show
around the
how
world.
wide. Yes, around the world.
That's what I would have done, and I was hoping
it would have been a little bit more impactful rather than coming from himself.
A little bit more impactful, I think, instead of it just him talking strictly to Lex Luthor, which fell on deaf ears anyway, which we all knew. So it's like,
well, he still cried.
But
right.
I know that if we would have showed that, you could even went back to Baravia or whatever that was, and all those places showing all the people around the world either reading a piece or maybe seeing one of the reports. Didn't even have to be Lois Lane. Someone could have, would have been dope if Christopher Reeve's son would have been the reporter, if he would have been reading it from Lois Lane or something like that. That would have been dope. That would have been impactful.
That's writing. That's writing.
Now, I have a question, and this is really as you guys say, fan service.
If it's about comic book people, Ralph, I'm going to come over there.
No. Because I had said this once before about the Batman movies. Should they, or was it necessary, if you have the other men that have played Superman that are still alive somewhere in the movie, like Dean Cain could have been a reporter. He could have been a reporter. I mean, it's strictly fan service. Strictly fan service.
Then Kevin would really hate it.
Nah,
yeah. AJ,
Henry Cavill wouldn't have did it. Let's be real. He Henry Cavill wouldn't did it. But I said that before when they came to Batman. When they said this is going to be the final version of Batman in Nolan's universe, would it have really been so bad if you took all the guys that had played Batman and stuck them somewhere in the movie as some sort of glorified
cameo? Horrible.
It's cheese. That's so much cheese. And AJ, you are starting to know me so well.
I wouldn't even consider that. I don't know if you think you never said that.
Well, I was just thinking about it one day.
I mean, that's not even real cheese. That's processed cheese.
That's government cheese.
No, because government cheese makes good grilled cheese sandwiches. So we ain't gonna throw it under the bus with that.
You know that cheese that's between your legs? That's the kind of cheese it is.
Yeah, that kind of cheese.
That kind of cheese.
I'm asking this question because there are other films, like for example, Wicked. Right, Wicked is what it was, but they had the two women
Superman to Wicked.
No. What I'm sitting there saying, but they did have the two women that originated the roles in the movie, not as the two characters, but as a girlfriend, and that has been done with other films.
I love that. I get what you're saying, Ralph, and I like that with other films, and that's actually a Marvel move. Marvel would do something like that at some points because they did it. They've done it actually because they did it with Spider-Man.
I mean, they even did it in one. They did it in Wonder Woman. I mean, frankly,
what was it? What was the movie that they did that in? Anyway, but that seems like something Marvel would do just to be, because Marvel can get away with it, right?
But it worked. It worked with Spider-Man. Didn't you cheer when you saw all those Spider-Man? Didn't you cheer? I was like, oh my god!
But that made sense.
That was intentional.
Yeah, that was intentional, and it made sense. Like because it was a multiverse, and hell yeah, I cheered my ass off because I was like, yes.
But I know what Ralph is saying. I usually look for that, Ralph, when it's something like, I mean, yeah, you could technically call this a remake, but I mean, or a reboot. But when it's definitely like a reboot, I look for stuff like that in those type of movies. But not per se. I don't need to see any of these other Supermans or whatever.
If they did a new Die Hard, I just want to say this: like if they did a new Die Hard, and God bless Bruce Willis. I know he's going through his medical stuff and whatever he's dealing with. It's like bringing him
Die Hard. That's how bad he is.
Yeah.
This is why I love when Jay's in our chat room. He said the Incredible Hulk had Lou Ferrigno in the security.
I mean, not for nothing. Even Wonder Woman, they did put Linda Carter in there in the very end of the movie. She wasn't Wonder Woman, but she was just like a throwaway character.
But she wasn't Wonder Woman, a rendition of Wonder Woman, because she referenced it in her one line that she had.
And it was a TV show. It was TV show Linda Carter. So
I get what he's saying, and I don't know. I don't normally see that or really want to see that with these type of superhero movies and stuff like that. Because even with the Batman stuff, but you got other movies that come around and do it, like The Flash did it when they brought in.
They showed all the different.
Look, they are bringing back Lou Ferrigno for World War Hulk. He's going to be Red Hulk.
That's fine.
Or whatever, one or the other.
And he did one of the voices in that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you know what? But I wouldn't want to see. I wouldn't want to see Tom Welling come back as anything in any of these Superman movies, because again, that's another person that I thought got really disrespected, as and we never got to outside of the Alex Ross painting and a couple of other renditions that I think we got to see Tom Welling as an actual Superman.
But I think that was planned. I think that
he
was
wasn't
planned.
a bad Superman. It was just a horrible script.
I just think he got screwed. He should have been when they took Brandon Roth and put him on screen. That was supposed to be Tom Welling. I don't get, and it was nothing. I had nothing against Brandon Roth. I think Brandon Roth did a good job for what he did. But Tom Welling should have been.
You're talking about TV show. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about Brandon Roth. Yeah, Brandon Roth got screwed. I thought he wasn't a bad Superman either. He just got screwed by a bad
script. We saw him at the end. This was like the last episode.
The last shot.
Yeah, the very last shot of the last show of Smallville. Because Bruce already knows, and we talked about that before. I was a big Smallville fan.
I started watching Smallville because of Wes. Because that's all you're like, Kev, you gotta watch Smallville. You ain't watching Smallville? What's wrong with you? You gotta watch Smallville.
Something to be like, hey, it's 9 minutes till Smallville. That's how we tell time. Hey, it's 9 minutes till Smallville.
But here's the deal. I only give them grace and forgiveness because they stuck to their motto. No flights, no tights. That was their motto for Smallville. And I get it. And at the end, showing him in that pose there just had people going crazy, boy. Geekgasms all over the place.
But that's the same thing they did with like Gotham series. You don't see the guy that played Bruce Wayne turn Batman to the last 10 seconds of the movie. In Gotham.
So Wes, did you get your answer? Your question was never answered. I think your last question to the panel was how do you rank the Superman?
You go, Bruce. What's yours?
Let's start with you.
Well, let me tell you something. Dean Cain is last, so let's start there. Dean Cain is last.
It's DK.
Why don't nobody likes Dean Cain?
He was garbage. He was
horrible, bro.
He was a garbage Superman, bro.
I will have to say.
And this nigga look at him. He don't even look like Superman.
Look, I'm saying like this. Dean Cain is down on my list for one reason over. How the hell did you done Gabrielle Reese? I'm just saying that one. I don't understand that one. You do the list. You at the bottom for that, bro.
But so apart from the story and everything, I don't think that this actor did a bad job with Superman. You're only as good as your script. You're only as good as it. I mean, you can. Sometimes a script makes you better. Sometimes a poor script will reflect badly on your acting. But I thought this actor did as much as he possibly could do with the role. So
we'll go around the horn, Bruce, starting with you. No, go ahead and rank the Superman. Your Dean Cain we know is at the bottom. So
yeah. Well. George Reeves for me, oddly enough. See, I grew up on that. I mean,
exactly.
I saw the original episodes as a kid racing home to try to watch it. So George Reeves for me is number one. He's the iconic. That was my whole my whole idea of
Childhood.
Superman is based on him, whether it's subliminal, subconsciously, or in the back of my mind or not. That's the prototype. So he's number one for
In New
me.
York City, and Superman flying through New York City because that's where they were based out
Yeah,
of, right?
he's number one, and all I. It really doesn't matter who's between. I know he's number one, and Kane is last. And you could take any order between that, and I'll pass the microphone on that.
All right. Well,
Wait, hold. I got a question. Since you said it like that, where do you rank Timothy Daly that plays Superman in the animated version? Do you rank him above Kane or after him?
He's not an actor. He's a voice. What are you talking
He's a
about?
voice actor. He's an actor, but he's a voice actor. He's not.
He's a voice actor.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah.
So are you asking me how well does he read? Are you asking me how well does he read?
No, because there are really people when they talk about the best incarnations of Batman that will put the guy that played him in the animated version up on that list. That he was
I
a
don't.
good.
I don't.
But some people do. That's why I'm asking the question.
I definitely don't. I don't.
I don't either.
But he did play Batman. He did play Batman in the Catwoman show.
No. I'm not saying it's not an art, but it's a separate art. Voice acting is a hell of a lot different than being in front of a camera and acting. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah, I hope everybody will.
Yeah, I mean, you
But he did play Batman. He did dress up. He was Batman and Catwoman.
I'm not saying it's not an art. I'm not saying that they're not good at it, but to compare a voice actor to an actor on screen is apples and oranges, people. Come on now.
Sometimes watching some of these animated voice actors, it sounds like when they try to overdub a French film with English actors, like some of these Netflix films. Great shows, but the voiceover work sounds like trash.
So
because it's not good acting.
It's just,
so
I'm
just
apples and
gonna,
oranges, guys.
yeah.
It's apples and oranges.
I'm gonna take the mic next. I'm of the same mind as Bruce. George Reeves is my number one. Because when I do, and Wes, I have to apologize to you for being so argumentative last week about even though Spider-Man does come up, when you do say Superman, the first Superman that comes to mind is the black and white George Reeves, for me. Then I'm going to go with even though he never got to be Superman. I still gotta stick Tom Welling in there, even if it's just for us as Clark Kent, as number two. Henry Cavill is my 1A to George Reeves. So you got those two, and then that about ends it for me. And then you Brandon Roth and whatever role you want to pick everybody with, and I guess Gene Kane. I'm just gonna go with public opinion that he's at the bottom.
Okay. I'm surprised that neither one of you mentioned Christopher Reeve. I thought that's a little that's kind of.
I'm sorry. I kind of forgot about it. In all of our arguing,
I kind of put for me.
Yeah,
he's number two for me.
He's number three for me. It's George Reeves. And it's like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane. Well, Karis won. 1A, 1B for George Reeves and Henry Cavill. Then Christopher Reeve. Then Tom Welling. Then Brandon Roth. And everybody else after that.
As long as you put Gene Kane in the end, I'm good.
Okay.
Hold on. You got Big Daddy Kane over KRS-One?
No, he said it's 1 and 1A. That's what he was saying.
I'm about to say
like 1A and 1B. So, all right, Ralph, what's your list? Who
Well, I told you. I said for me, it's going to be Christopher Reeves, then Henry Cavill, and then everybody else. I mean, I've seen some of the George Reeves because actually there's a station on our cable system. The couple of channels we got left that on Saturday nights they actually show Reeves as Superman, and I've seen a couple of them. I mean, it was okay. But the current guy, like
Reeve, and then Henry
Cavill. Yeah. Okay. But like I said, right now this new guy, I just need to see more of a balance between you being Clark a little more than Superman.
I almost feel the same way as I felt with Pattinson's Batman. I said I need to see more Bruce Wayne. I loved him as Batman. I liked his Batman, but I didn't like his Bruce Wayne. And I need to, but that's only because we need to see more. It's going to evolve, and he's going to be different the next time he comes back. So I had to pull back a little bit and say, okay, I'm not going to kill him for the Bruce Wayne because I know that they have more in store for that Bruce Wayne.
Because right now, this iteration of that Bruce Wayne is the angry, still in my feelings, Bruce Wayne. The earlier version of him, and what I like about that West, not that you mentioned it, not to get sidetracked, but they kind of did the same thing. Like it's like almost how what's his face was in Nolan's in the beginning when he ran off. He was just
exactly. He was evolving. You saw him evolve, but through the three. But I mean, I don't want to get on that sidetrack, but I still feel that I never really liked his Bruce Wayne. I didn't think his Bruce Wayne was that good. I thought he was great as Batman, and dude. So, Tony, where you going with it?
I look at it like I do my football team, the LA Chargers. Christopher Reeves will forever be Phillip Rivers, even though there was other good quarterbacks. Dan Faust, that's George Reeves. So it just depends on the era that you're in. It's funny because I just watched I Love Lucy. I watched I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy.
And had George Reeves on it.
And they had the George Reeves episode in there, and they played it like 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
I still remember that.
Which is hilarious. So I appreciate that. But, for me, I got to tell you, I'll go Christopher, and then tied neck and neck is Tyler and Henry Cavill.
Okay, like Tyler. Yeah.
I'm in love with Tyler. Tyler, I think he should have gotten a go at it, but I think that Tyler and Henry are tied for second place. Really, if I was going to put them out there, but other than that, I give this new kid like the next spot, and then after that, it's Brandon and. Definitely Dean Cain is last. If there's anything, he's lower. he is lower than the voice actor.
Yeah, definitely. Jay in the chat room said his top 3 is Christopher Reeve, Henry Cavill, and Tyler Hoechlin. He also loves Tyler.
Tyler, did you guys ever see the show? And I love
it. I didn't watch it like religiously, but I've seen some.
I love the dynamic that I am a parent. I got to deal with all this drama. I got all these villains, and I'm raising my 2 kids, and they got their own polar issues. And then he's got, I got to go. I got to become Superman again. And
which one is this Tyler from? So I can take a look at
that show.
Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois. Okay. Oh yeah, that's on HBO Max right now. Okay, I can watch that.
The last season, every episode, badass.
The problem with them was, it was TV. Their budget constraints, they had budget limits.
But still, they had like the best Brainiac. They had the best Doomsday. They had like the best of the best. I was like, they had no money, but they still did it. They had Steel, dude. Steel was awesome. That's like the best version of Steel I've ever seen.
Their Doomsday.
What you mean, not Shaq's version? I'm just kidding.
I know.
Listen.
Okay, so let me give mine. So, Christopher Reeve will always be for me the number one Superman. Charm, humor, heart. He just was, he was great at the dual role. He had the best Clark Kent as far as, you got to see a lot of Clark Kent as well as Superman in his movies. He set the bar, in my opinion. Number 2 for me is definitely Henry Cavill. He was probably the most, definitely the most physically, polarizing Superman.
No doubt.
Most intimidating. Most, he was great at that. I always go on record by saying I liked Man of Steel story, but Christopher Reeve to me is always going to be number one. So Henry Cavill's number two. And I put this picture up because I'm sorry that we never got a chance to see what could have been, because this is him from Black Adam, where they lightened up the suit and this, that, and the other, and he changed. It would have been great to see that. But anyway, I'm going with Cavill number two, number three. Man, see, I can't put George Reeves at number three for me because he just didn't really.
That you have to be a part of that era, like kind of like how me and Bruce was. Of that, can't wait to see it.
Different. I got to be honest, guys. They didn't have all the money in the budget, but they could have named that. They could have named that sitcom or that TV series Clark Kent, because it was 90% Clark Kent, and at the end, Superman shows up and saves the day.
Out of money. Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. I'm going with Tyler as number three only because I've seen him mostly. I saw him in crossover episodes. I didn't really follow the show, but I always thought he was. I don't know. He's just something about him. He's got this rugged look to him as Superman. I just thought it was. I don't know, but also his Clark Kent is actually pretty good.
His Clark Kent was amazing.
His Clark Kent is really good. So that's what kind of got him at number three for me. And then
guys, at the end of that series, I cried. Literally, the last episode, I cried.
Yeah, he put in work. I gotta go back and binge that series.
It was a good show. It was a really well written show.
Yeah. All right. So, it's obviously very early to tell Corenswet yet.
Lois and Clark.
I think he's got a nice look for Superman. I think he was kind of hampered by the writing, unfortunately, of how he was acting as Superman. Like I said, this Superman here is how he was acting from this show here. Super guy. That's what he's got.
Super dude. It's Super Dude.
So Brandon Routh to me lacked his own identity, and that's why, I don't know.
They tried too much. They tried too much to make him look like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, they tried too hard with that.
They messed him up.
He had probably the worst suit to me. I hated that suit. I
like the suit.
He was in great shape. I had the other picture of him because I love that they brought him back in the CW shows, and he was the he's the Kingdom Come man there, which I thought was really cool. I guess that's what it is. And as everyone else, Dean Cain is last. As far as Dean Cain is the worst Superman ever to ever put the suit on. If I throw in to me,
that's my guy right there, boy. That's my guy right there.
He's never been Superman. Clark
I'm
Kent. So that's what it is. The top three. Real quick before we end it, let's quickly go over get you guys again back around the horn. Keep it brief. Who is your best? Rank your Lex Luthors. We're gonna rank Lex, and then we're gonna rank Lois, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Oh shit!
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Full stop.
Gene Hackman.
Full stop.
Yeah, I mean Kevin Spacey.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he did.
Had some shades of Gene Hackman in there.
Yeah,
but
a little bit. Yeah.
Kevin Spacey redid Gene Hackman. I didn't like it at all.
It was like a couple of things when I said, yeah, he's doing Gene Hackman. Like when he said, "You're not listening," that's Gene Hackman. So you kind of sort of was giving me that one, but it was your own version. But the what's his name, Eisenberg? No, bro, no.
Okay, so just
listen, Lex Luthor does not wear sneakers. Let's just put it like that. Lex Luthor does not wear sneakers.
Rank them real quick. Go ahead and do a quick rank. You got Hackman. You got Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville. You got Nicholas Hoult from the movie that just happened. Kevin Spacey and Jesse Eisenberg.
Okay, Rosenbaum.
Eisenberg is last. I would put Rosenbaum too. I put him.
Okay.
I put him too.
Okay. Yes. So go ahead. Go ahead. What's your third one, Ralph?
Then I'm gonna say Spacey, then Holt, and then Eisenberg.
Okay.
All right. For me, it's Hackman. Full stop. You need not go on from there. But if we're going to go on, then the actor from Smallville, I really liked his Lex. And then thirdly, Spacey.
Okay.
Yeah, even though he's like R. Kelly, you can't really say his name, but you know.
Oh, that's funny. So Bruce,
you're not getting the big picture.
Where you stand?
I didn't see Smallville, so I can only say that Hackman
You what?
Spacey.
Yeah. You what?
He only saw what I made.
I didn't see. I didn't watch.
Wes tried to get me to watch it so much I was turned off, so I never watched it.
Oh man, Wes was.
But Rosenberg,
my God.
Wes
I never
watched
watched
it
it
enough
but
for
Rosenberg
all of us.
was so animated in the role that even though I didn't know about Smallville, I knew he was playing Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
and that he was good at it.
Yeah, he was good.
Wes was in my ear so much, Bruce, that like I just had to start. I was like, I got to shut him up. Let me just start watching it.
He watched it enough for all of us.
Okay, so you didn't really watch him.
Yeah, man. Just give me the cliff notes.
Did you remember Spacey's version?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, for me, the only two I stick out really for me is Hackman and Spacey.
Okay.
I thought they captured the real. They captured the essence.
The essence of the criminal minded.
Yeah. But because they were motivated, they were driven. They had drive rather than just being envious.
Right.
Yeah, and that was the problem, and that was the problem with Eisenberg. Just like y'all said with this new Superman, he's envious of Superman.
So you want to destroy the world? You just don't like
that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Tony, where you stand with that?
You got who we mentioned earlier, Gene Hackman. Then you guys are gonna laugh. I think that Gene, the TV actor from Justice League Unlimited, and then Michael Cutlitz from Superman and Lois, and then Ducky.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
I loved his Lex Luthor. Everybody else falls under that.
It's your list. But I'm like, no way. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna go Hackman,
Harper?
Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Hackman, Rosenbaum, for me. Then I'll go Spacey. Then I'll go. Well, you can flip flop between Holt. So I'll go Spacey, Holt, and Eisenberg. Eisenberg was a disappointment because he was a little too quirky for me. He was too quirky. Eisenberg is a great actor. I love the way he acts, and he's definitely. If he would approach it a little bit more,
he overthought it. Yeah,
he overthought it. If he would approach it more intellect,
but he could have done a good Lex Luthor. He overthought it.
But you know what? No, I don't. Yeah, he was good in the Jimmy Kimmel skit. I will say this about Eisenberg. I don't think he overshot it. I think it was just the fact that everybody was supposed to be so young and because we saw so many young versions of Lex, hint, Smallville, and the other iterations from TV, that he had a mark that he should have hit as a young Lex Luthor.
But guys, you know what the thing is with Lex Luthor? I mean, he was never a weakling. He was a very strong. He stood out as a villain. All those actors don't stand out.
But he wanted to
Michael
conquer the
Cudlitz
world.
and Gene Hackman. They stand out as villains
because they
you could believe them being these people.
Because they were the classic villain, conquer the world. That the ultimate villain in every movie, whether it be Bond or whatever you want to call, even in a lot of the Batmans, the ultimate thing is world domination.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
My biggest critique of any Lex Luthor is I still didn't get the layers. The only ones that really had layers to me was the TV ones, because you got time to build with them. So Rosenbaum had layers. Gene Hackman and Kevin Spacey played him the best. Rosenbaum to me played him the second best. But yeah, that was my big thing.
Hackman got it, dude. He didn't have to overthink it. He didn't have to do anything.
No, they did it. So all right, last go round. Let's go with Lois. So with Lois Lane, we have, of course, Margot Kidder from the
Margot Kidder. Everybody else is second.
You got Erica Durance from Smallville. You got Rachel Brosnahan from the one that just came out. You got Amy Adams from the Snyderverse, and you got Kate Bosworth from Superman Returns. So let's go around real quick again. Ralph, you start.
Ralph?
Yeah, I'm here.
You start. Lois Lane.
Kidder, Durant, Brosnahan, Adams, Bosworth. Oh, and Hatcher. Terry Hatcher.
Oh yeah, Terry Hatcher. I forgot about Terry Hatcher. Yeah.
Well, off the top of my head, I'm going to say the bottom is Bosworth.
Okay.
No,
Bosworth. I mean, yeah, I agree. So she's the last. She's last on the list.
He automatically.
She played
it.
Yeah,
she played it. She played it too safe and too much. What not safe? She was like, I don't need you, but then I really did, because now I gotta write a retraction why the world really does need you. Although I was pissed that you left. Think about it. She was pissed. She was pissed that he left because he wanted to see if he had anything left of Krypton. She's like, but why did you leave us? Like, you seem to forgot the fact that the man is alone. So they were able to find his plan. He wanted to see if anything was left there to find his roots.
You're back to the writing, Ralph. That's the writing. Yeah. That's not the acting. That's the writing.
But one is, I think one for right now has to be always going to be Margot Kidder. I just think she was the epitome of what the character was. She was sassy, sweet, but she was balls to the wall when it came to her being a reporter. Like that was her focus. Like, Clark came along and I wasn't interested, but I love Superman. And then when she found out, but it was like, even she's like, I still gotta be a reporter. I still gotta be me.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a number two after her. I mean, Amy Adams, I'll probably say Amy Adams might be number two. I like Amy Adams.
Okay. Right. That's cool. Amy was her Lois was a little more grounded, a little more mature. You know what I mean? But she was definitely.
She still had that go, and she still had that go getter. She still had that rush for the truth of the story, getting to the bottom of the story.
But she also had that little part that she realized that she was putting herself in situations where Superman intervened, and it was bothering her that people could have been potentially injured that didn't need to be injured.
Yeah.
And so that says something about her where, like, I want the story, but damn, at what price am I getting the story?
But that comes from the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I think if you're gonna say that comes from the writing, then it does come from the writing, because that's.
No, I was gonna say that comes from the original TV series where Superman was always bailing out Lois and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So
then after her. Damn, because I haven't seen the new girl that played Lois. I mean, she was okay. I get what you're saying. All of a sudden, you know how to fly an alien spacecraft with no instructions. It ain't like you Googled how to do it. You know how to fly a spacecraft. I'm sorry, it just didn't work.
Well, it was intuitive. It's so.
But I would say after Amy Adams, you can rank them any way you want to. I don't know how else you.
Come on, you guys didn't like that Looney Tunes sequence where the ship fell off the edge of the building and everybody screamed and then it popped back up? Come on.
Oh Lord.
you mean the same kind of gag they use in Star Trek or any other kind of thing where the ship falls off like
Notice I stayed with the brand. I stayed with Warner Brothers, Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Looney Tunes. Yeah. Okay, so who we?
I'll go next. I'm gonna go with I can only go with the ones that I've seen. I'm gonna say Amy Adams is number one for me. Then Margot Kidder. That's like a flip flop 1A 1B type of thing. Then what's we call it? Erica Dunce from Smallville, and then Noelle Neal from Superman, from the not the 1951, but the one after that, the second Superman. What's his face? Y'all know who I'm talking about.
George Reeves.
Yeah, George Reeves.
Okay.
Yeah, his Lois.
All right, Tony, how you feeling?
I'm gonna go with Ralph's choices.
Okay. Kidder, and then he put who did
Adams.
Adams,
and then the new girl.
The new girl, and
I like the new girl. She was quirky. She was, she was out there. She kind of reminded me again. For me, this Superman was very Justice League, and that's what I enjoyed about it.
Right.
So she reminded me a lot of that Lois Lane, because Army brat and all that stuff.
Bruce, you chimed in.
No, the only thing I'm gonna say is I want to reclaim my time. I'm going to say Margot Kidder. Margot Kidder is the prototype. I don't care anybody else after that. But I do want to say this. I'm going to use the remaining of my time to say this. If Superman does not save the day, it's not Superman. That's to me. That's my personal. He's got to be the one. That's what makes him super. He has got to save the day. And in this film, he did not save the day. Mr. Terrific did. He saved the day. And I don't know why it was written like that, but Superman must save the day to be a
Can you
Superman
say
movie.
that for the people in the bleachers who did not hear you?
Wow, dude, that was deep.
For the people in the bleachers, because it's literally just that. It's just that simple. It's nothing deep about it. Superman always saves the day, even when he was beat. Even when Christopher Reeve, the best Superman in Superman 2, when he was getting his ass whooped, they was handing him his ass. What did he do? He flipped it on him. He got inside that cube, turned everything outside red. He came out, and what did he do? He saved the day.
Saved the day.
Always. Even with the fictitious turning the earth around to reverse time. I thought that was some bullshit, but you know what? It worked. He saved the day.
Superman. All right, I'm going to go ahead and...
That was some bullshit.
That was great. Margot Kidder is the prototype. Lois Lane, for she played it very well. And then I'm gonna go with Margot Kidder. Then I'm gonna go Amy Adams. Then I'm gonna go Erica Durance.
I'm surprised by that.
I'm gonna go Erica Durance, and then I'll go with the new girl, Brosnahan.
Come in, Aiden.
Before Terry Hatcher, we're gonna give an appreciation Terry Hatcher post. Terry Hatcher's the hottest Lois Lane.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah,
By
definitely.
far the hottest Lois Lane was Terry Hatcher.
Between her and Kate
yeah, I'm not gonna knock that.
I wonder how many posters did she sell of her
Right behind Erica Durant.
Hey guys, look, Margot Kidder went nude too, so I mean, she didn't look bad. She was just a little bushy.
Margot Kidder looked good too, but
yeah,
but that image of Terry Hatcher
yeah,
with the S.
and Kate Bosworth wasn't bad looking either.
Yeah, but not.
I mean, she had a big forehead. She had a big forehead, but
So then, Bronson had to be after.
Are you saying she had a Sade head? You saying she had a Sade
yeah,
head?
yeah. She got a Sade head.
Hey, don't be talking shit about Sade, dude.
Yeah.
I listen. As the ultimate Sade fan, I can. And it's just the truth. Rihanna, Rihanna, two of the finest women in show business, got the biggest foreheads.
Do not be talking shit about Sade. That's all I got to say.
I love Sade, man.
Not too loud. Not too loud because she could hear you thinking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget about that. Yeah.
Bosworth is for me too. I think she was she played it too safe, too subdued. I liked Amy Adams' version. Like I said, grounded, mature. Brosnahan, I was feeling her up until the point with flying the thing. But other than that, I thought I did like her Lois as well. But anyway, at the end of the day, these guys, and I'll put this one up too. This Lois is hilarious, actually, from that show.
Hey, what about the Lois Lane from Superman? I forgot her. Yeah, she's 4 for me.
Which one?
From Superman and Lois. I don't think you have her up there.
Oh, I don't have her up here right now. Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, I didn't really get into the show. That's her right there.
Oh, you got Terry Hatcher in there.
Yeah. I was just appreciation pros. That was appreciation.
You got the other one.
Wait. Who was that next to her? Is that Leslie Ann Warren next to her?
Next to
the girl,
who?
right? Terry Hatcher, the girl right next to her. Who was that?
Oh, I'm not sure who this one is. Yeah, where was she? Which one she would have been from? I don't know. But this is the one he's talking about, the one from the show. She's good too. I liked her too, but I didn't put her in because I couldn't judge her because I don't get into the show that much. I only seen them on crossover Arrowverse shows.
Dude, you're gonna like the one thing that the reviewer said about that TV show, especially with Doomsday, with no cast, it was the best rendition of Doomsday that live action they've ever done.
Yeah. So with that being said, gentlemen, it's great to have this conversation.
It was fun, Bruce. I like your style.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, I know he appreciate that. I appreciate all of y'all for joining us, and we know at the end of the day, Superman, it's not about.
You're no longer an evil bot.
I was never an evil bot.
You're still you know what? After today, you're gonna go back and be an evil bot.
Yeah, he's just forgiving today.
I am not an evil bot.
Yeah, listen, we're gonna dub this episode. Listen, if there's going to be a title for this episode, it's going to be
he's the comic book hater. I'm gonna start calling Ralph the comic book villain. He's the perfect comic book villain because he hates comic books. And when
you know what?
No, I don't. Listen. No. Wait. Hold. I do not hate comic books. I don't.
Go out. Well, you hate comic fans.
He hates
you
comic
go out of your
people.
way every episode.
That's a different. That is a different episode because they sit there. No, because and this is not pertaining to anybody here on this panel right now. However, I have been to some of these.
However, that's like saying but.
However,
that's like saying but.
Listen. This is a but. However, I have been to a lot of Comic Cons and things when I'm going to take pictures and stuff, and I hear these arguments that comic book fans have with each other about the movies, but a lot of them really seem to think that Warner Brothers or Paramount, anybody, is making the comic book movie that's for just them. Yeah, not everybody else. It's just them, and they have these opinions, and then they say, "Well, this is my Superman." So one day I was in the line. I was actually in the line. They were doing this like a comic book speed dating thing. And this guy was in there. He had this whole 30-minute long tirade about how Superman actually shaves. The whole dichotomy of how Superman actually shaves, right? And then the guy said, "Well, Superman, it's my Superman." I was like, "Bro, it's not your Superman. You didn't draw it. It's not your Superman. It's not." But he was adamant that it was his Superman, and he
Ralph,
needed to tell the
those are the
story because
truest
that's what.
fans. Those are
Those
the
are
people you come
those
in
are
contact with are the truest fans.
But the truest fans. I mean, you could be like myself. Like, listen, I
You know what
love the
fan
Dallas
is?
Cowboys.
Ralph, do you know where
Yes,
the
I do.
word fan came from?
fanatic.
Fanatic. And I say
It's
it like
short
this.
for fanatic.
It's short for
I got
fanatic.
that. But listen. I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. That is my team since I was like 6 years
Oh
old.
God, here
But
we go.
Oh, you're back to being an evil bot.
No wonder.
It all makes
wait,
sense
hold
now.
it.
You're back to being an evil bot. Never mind. I take it back.
Listen to me. But even with me being a Dallas Cowboy fan, I
You're
am
not
not blinded to
delusional.
the fact. I
You're
am
not
not blind.
delusional.
No, that's right. I'm not delusional. I am not blind to the fact that the Cowboys have always had problems that have never really been addressed, and that's why they haven't been back to Super Bowl. I am not that guy.
I will
Optimism.
give
With
Ralph
that
that.
being said, no, but with that being said, Ralph, I agree with that. But that's what I mean by, of course, you got your over the top people, but that's the same thing as what you just criticized earlier about people critiquing the movie. Who, you know, people who read the comics and they critique the movie because they know that, because quite frankly, these people who read the comics, they know the character better than the people that go watch it in the movies. Sometimes they know the character better than the people that made the movies.
But
So
what
it's
I'm
like Brian Singer.
what I'm sitting here saying is that when I hear these guys talking, they feel like the people that make comic movies make it just for them, just for the comic fans.
Yeah.
But they don't. They make
They
it
don't
for
have to. They
everybody.
believe they are. That's what makes
they
them
believe.
fans.
That's what they believe.
And that's why that's exactly why they're fanatic, and that's why a lot of them are what they now call these gooner guys. They're sitting there down in the basement with the Superman posters up, watching porn, playing Xbox. That's exactly why, with no girlfriends, no interactions, no social.
That
You
is
seem to
such
take
a
this very personal, Ralph. What's happening over there?
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
realistic.
I don't know.
What kind of porn do you watch?
So you just put a bunch of people in a box. You just
a whole box.
Ralph, what
And
kind of porn do you watch?
literally in a basement box.
If your name is Nike, then guess what?
Wait. Are they in the basement? Wait, are they in the basement with no cellar entrance?
I don't know. Because listen, I have the last 2 weeks since Superman was about to come out, right? I have seen all these people online analyzing the movie. Comic book fans, regular fans, yada yada. And not only that, then you got the people that are still mad because it's not like no, we're gonna retake over the Snyderverse.
Me,
like bro, it's over with. Deal with it.
Yeah,
no,
it's over with. Deal with it.
No, I never. And
I'm over it because Snyder's over it. I'm not gonna keep holding the torch if he ain't holding the torch.
Right. You're praising for a king that don't even want the crown anymore. That's moved on to another kingdom.
So what?
But you know what, though, guys? Speaking of Zach, I mean, Warner Brothers is open to selling the rights for the Snyderverse to Netflix.
The Snyderverse to Netflix.
They are negotiating that. So
they are still. Yeah, they definitely
are negotiating that. So I think that they're still in the middle of that because Warner Brothers needs money. And I think they might do that, and Zach said he would do it if Netflix buys it.
After all of this, and they've been making money the last few movies, but they are still in the red. They over red.
They've been bleeding so long, it's not even funny.
Because they haven't put Warner Brothers and putting out projects for the last, I'm gonna be honest, last 10 years that they thought were going to be profitable. What was it? The one with Channing Tatum. What was it? Mars Rising, whatever it was, that you spent $200-300 million, Battlefield Earth, and all this stuff that only made you like 6 cents. You're bleeding profits. That's
Battlefield Earth. That was John Travolta.
Yeah, it was another one. I know Battlefield Earth. I mean, the one with Channing Tatum. I think it was Mars Rising with him and Mila Kunis. Horrible.
Oh yeah.
That you spend even the last Matrix movie, you spent how many millions of dollars for that, and it only got you with 6 cents. That's why you're bleeding money so much, right?
Well,
And
I mean,
Well,
now in retrospect,
by the way, guys, if I can recommend a movie that's nothing to do with any other stuff, Kevin James and Betty, made like 4 years ago. He's not the king of Queen. Becky.
Oh, Becky.
Yeah, really good, man. Really, really dark film. I was like, wow.
I'm going to close out by saying, any way we shake it, there's going to be fans on all of it. And Superman, I said it last week. He is a pop culture icon. So everybody from every walk of life is going to have an opinion on Superman. It's going to be the non-comic book fans. It's going to be the comic book fans. It's going to be the people that grew up when they were kids and grew up on the old show with George Reeves, or even the radio shows and stuff like that. So everyone's going to, because Superman, there was a Superman for every generation.
Every generation, yeah, literally.
Right? So literally for every generation.
Hey guys, I gotta go. It was good seeing you.
AJ, before you go,
yes.
we're titling this episode "The Forgiveness of AJ."
All right, bro. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good one, man.
All right, guys. Bye. I appreciate it.
Right, good
Have
night.
a good one.
Later, AJ.
Yeah, there's a Superman for every generation. So we're always gonna be critiquing it and things like that. And I think I'll end the show by kind of echoing what Bruce said. At the end of the day, and it was also echoed in the chat room by Jason. At the end of the day, Superman should always save the day.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And that's where I understand where Bruce felt that Gunn fell short. With that when it came with the little boy and stuff like that. At the end of the day, Superman should save the day. But yeah, man, y'all. I thank everybody for joining us. Obviously, Tony Perez and my man Bruce and all y'all. Thanks for Jay sticking around and putting your insight into the chat room. And yeah, man. If there's nothing else with that, next week we'll come back. We'll talk some Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four comes out.
Boy.
I hope it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'm getting some early things.
I haven't seen one that I liked yet. Have not seen one I liked yet.
Early reviews and reactions are saying that it is fantastic. So we'll see. I think it will be. But we'll catch y'all next week, man.
Good episode, Wes. Good episode, brother.
We can't
very good.
end the show.
No, Ralph. We're not going. We're going.
No, I'm dead serious. I mean, hold. We can't end the show without.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, we got to do the RIP.
Oh yeah.
Like that. No, you're right. Ralph.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Oh my.
That broke my heart. My heart sank.
Bro.
My heart sank.
I was at a funeral today when I got the message that came. So I was like, "What?"
Man. Yeah, I definitely, on behalf of the whole show and the IE Network, we want to send a RIP, rest in peace, to Malcolm Jamal Warner. We all know him as Theo Huxtable. We know him from Malcolm and Eddie and everything else you might see him. I remember him from way back in the day, man. And just finding this out, it's like finding out one of your distant cousins or one of your cousins passed away. You know what I mean?
It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that, man.
That's like your childhood friend.
It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that.
That you grew up with, you played football or whatever, and you get to call like, yo, such and such is gone. You're like, what?
Yeah, I loved him as an actor, and I loved the fact that he was so picky about the roles that he did. And every role that he did he was just phenomenal in them. When he was the bounty hunter on the one show and the doctor on another show.
I just really, obviously condolences goes out to his family, his friends, his loved ones. And it's a tragic thing because they say that he drowned. It might have been like a boating accident or something like that, but he was actually a pretty good swimmer too. So when you hear stuff like that, it's just really, really heartbreaking, man. And this we definitely gotta show our respects to him of all that. I meant to start the show like that, so I'm happy that you brought that up I meant to start the show with him, but
yeah, man.
Everybody, man. Yes, y'all can love us, you can hate us, but don't forget about us. See y'all next week.
Don't you forget about me.